Episode 4. Have you ever stopped to consider how you view stress? Most people automatically assume that stress is bad for them. But what if simply changing the way you think about stress could significantly improve your life? That's exactly what researcher Dr. Alia Crum set out to discover. In this episode, we'll explore her findings and how a shift in mindset could change the way we experience stress. Crum did a few more really interesting studies during a very stressful time, the big money crisis in 2008. She chose to do her study at a company called UBS, which is a big bank. At that time, people working in banks were super stressed out. Many of them couldn't sleep, drank too much, or felt really sad and worried all the time. Here's what Crum did. She got 388 people who worked at UBS to join her study. She split them into 3 groups. 1. The first group watched videos that said stress is really bad for you. 2. The second group watched videos that said stress can actually be good for you in some ways. 3. The third group didn't watch any videos at all. Now you might be wondering, can watching a few short videos really change how people think about stress? Well, that's exactly what Crum wanted to find out. Guess what? It worked. The people who watched the videos saying stress can be good started to think about stress differently. They didn't suddenly love being stressed, but they started to see that stress might have some good sides too. But here's the really cool part. The people who learned to see stress as potentially good felt better in lots of ways. They weren't as worried or sad. They had fewer health problems like back pain or trouble sleeping. They even said they could focus better at work and got along better with their co-workers. And remember, these people were still really stressed. Their jobs hadn't gotten any easier. Crum didn't stop there. She's done this kind of study with all sorts of people: doctors, college students, big company bosses, and even tough Navy SEALs. Each time, she found that helping people see stress differently made a big difference in how they felt and how well they did their jobs. Now, this doesn't mean that stress is always good. Being stressed all the time can still be bad for you. But what Crum's work shows us is that how we think about stress matters a lot. Think about it like this. Imagine you're about to give a big speech. Your heart starts beating fast, and you feel butterflies in your stomach. Most people would think, "Oh no, I'm so stressed. This is terrible." But what if instead you thought, "My body is getting ready to do something important. This feeling is helping me focus and do my best." Can you see how that might make you feel differently? This idea is pretty amazing when you think about it. Just by changing how we think about stress, we might be able to feel better and do better, even when things are really tough. But remember, this doesn't mean we should try to make our lives more stressful. It's not about looking for more stress. It's about learning to handle the stress we can't avoid in a better way. So next time you're feeling stressed, try to remember Crum's research. Instead of only thinking about how bad the stress is, you could ask yourself, how might this stress be trying to help me? What can I learn from this stressful situation? How might going through this tough time make me stronger? Changing how we think about stress isn't always easy. We've all heard for years that stress is bad. But Crum's work shows us that our thoughts about stress are really powerful. By learning to see both the good and bad sides of stress, we might be able to live healthier, happier lives, even when things get tough. In the end, stress is a normal part of life. We can't always control the stressful things that happen to us. But we can work on controlling how we think about stress. And that, as Crum's research shows, can make a big difference in our lives.